What's good, everybody? What's good? So, it's Z. It's Z. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I started pulling some cards, right? I started pulling some cards. And I know it's been a little while. And I know for a few people who might actually be keeping up with this page, I understand it's been a little slow going. And I think I might have shared with you that, my life situation's been a little interesting. And to be honest with you, the cards are kind of, I feel like the cards sometimes are telling my life, and or I tend to want to avoid the topic of relationships, right? I tend to want to avoid the topic of relationships, while at the same time I have this page, right? And I'll admit I've been skirting the subject, and I've been posting about other things. Like, there's plenty of things to talk about. But I'll admit, part of the reason I haven't been pulling cards is because, I don't know, it's starting to feel like there's a relationship on the horizon. And there's a part of me is still like, do I want a relationship? Do I not want a relationship? It's like, um, it might be to the point now where it's just like, it's hard to miss what you never really had. Like, I've been in a couple, honestly, I hate the word situationships. It's like, I dated a few people for a little while, and I can probably even say there was like maybe 2 or 3 times that it could be considered somewhat long term. I guess maybe more than 2 years, 2 or 3 years or something like that. But so I decided I wanted to pull some cards today, right? And of course, I got this Two of Cups here. The Two of Cups is literally, this is right in front of me. I definitely would not have pulled this on purpose because, like I said, I've been wanting to avoid the topic of relationships, and it's interesting because these are two of the relationship cards, and I rarely see these two together. A lot of times, when someone's about to meet someone new, it'll be like the Two of Cups situation. But I do feel like Spirit's been trying to prepare me and trying to break through, I guess, whatever this resistance I have to getting into relationships. It's not that I can't I don't hate the idea. It's just, maybe, like I said, it's hard to miss what you never had. And I like working on myself. I like doing my own thing, and maybe I like it a little too much sometimes. And so I decided, I literally, in the first 50 seconds of the video, I was almost gonna stop it, but I'm like, maybe I won't do that, right? Because here's the other thing. I also had an interesting little encounter just before I sat here. Before I was sitting on this bench, I was actually sitting in a different area, and because I wanted to shoot a cute little video. And I shot a cute little 3-minute video, and then I sat down. There are birds around, no worries. And so, in case you hear those sounds and you're wondering what that is. And so I was sitting on a bench at a different area in the neighborhood where I'm at. And there's a lot of benches. It's a park area. There's plenty of benches, plenty of places to sit. But it was this young lady. This young lady actually came over to sit next to me. And you can tell that Spanish was probably her first language, but I'm pretty sure she understood me. I'm pretty sure she understands English, but you can tell that Spanish was likely her first language. She had a very strong accent. She's like, she kind of looked at me and was like, "You okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "Can I sit?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So she sits down, and she offered me her sandwich. She had like a half a Subway sandwich. I guess she had a foot long and only ate half of it, and she offered me the other half. And I'm like, I'm all right. It's very sweet of you. I appreciate it. And I noticed, after literally we were sitting there maybe like 10 minutes or so, this guy comes over and starts talking to her in Spanish. My Spanish is not good enough for how fast they were talking. Like, my Spanish is okay, but if I'm talking to somebody who knows my Spanish is okay and they can talk slow, I can get the gist of it. But, you know, I also wasn't trying to be too nosy. And at some point, he had like put his arm around her. So I guess he's pretty much trying to get with her. They don't look like they don't know each other. I think they were like familiar with each other, but maybe not close. It was kind of feeling like that. And yeah, threw his arm around her, and she was like, you know, she did one of these. And I kind of looked, and I was like, you okay? She was like, you know, kind of giving me that look like, I'm good, like, it's cool. And so I'm like, fair enough. So I actually just started playing the game on my phone, right? And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm about to move soon. Because these folks are having a whole interaction next to me. And probably like another 10 minutes go by, and these two young ladies walking a dog. I love, there's a lot of dogs around here, which I do appreciate. The dog I enjoy watching the dog walking, because I don't have one. I don't have a dog. So the lady compliments her on her hair, because she had, I don't know if it was a wig or a weave, I have no idea, but it was a really nice, kind of like a burnt orange color. And it really was a nice color, not bright orange. You know, it's like not, you know what I'm saying, like orange, but more like a burnt orange, which actually one of my favorite colors, which I haven't been clothes shopping in such a long time. I forget. That's one of those colors that when I see it, I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot how much I love this color, right? And so she said it, and I kind of glanced over it, and I'm like, yeah, she's right. That is a cute color. And after a few minutes, I was like, okay, I had to pee anyway, so I actually went home to use the bathroom. Then I came back out here. Why am I saying all this? And then I started pulling the cards, right? I started pulling the cards, and this is looking a little relationship-y, right? With the Two of Cups here. With the, you know, the Two of Cups here, the Six of Cups, and this Ten of Wands. I think, 10 of Cups. And then we have the Ten of Wands. And there's a couple other cards. I'll get more into the cards, but as I was shuffling the deck, I'm like, you know, I'll try to say a little spiel where I'm like, Spirit, you know, is there anything you want me to know? Is there anything you want me to talk about? Is there anything you want me to share? And like, it's funny because this, I'll admit, the Six of Cups came out. I put it back. I kept shuffling. I'm like, kept shuffling. I was pulling cards, and I wasn't quite feeling those cards either, and I kept shuffling, and the Six of Cups popped right back out. And I'm like, nah, I put it back in the deck. I kid you not. Keep shuffling. I pull some other cards. I wasn't feeling those cards. I pull the cards again. And then the damn Six of Cups again. And then when you shuffle and you look down, with the bottom of the deck was with this Two of Cups right at the bottom of the deck. Right? So I'm like, all right, so this is a topic Spirit's not letting me avoid. Literally, the lady the young lady that was sitting next to me, the guy was clearly trying to get with her. Like, I don't need to understand Spanish. Body language says it all. He's easily trying to get with her, and you can tell she's not interested. But I grew up. There was, not now, obviously, but guys around here, they had little crushes on me, and they would like flirt every time they see me. Like, there's a little familiarity there. You can tell they're not strangers. But I also thought about it after the fact. I actually think she thought I was cute. And which is why she offered me the sandwich, because I realized she offered me the sandwich. She didn't offer that guy the half a sandwich. So I was like, I actually wonder if she was sitting next to me in hopes of starting a conversation. And then this guy comes and interrupts. So I think she low-key was like, like, damn it. This dude messing up my thing. And it's all an afterthought, because I don't be thinking like that a lot of times. I be forgetting people actually check me out sometimes. And and so then I was thinking about orange, right? And I was thinking about sacral chakra. And then yesterday I was literally talking to my sister about different like herbs and things that I be drinking, because she has a friend who has like some medical things going on. and they were like, asking for some tips for like different herbs and roots. Like, I'm not an herbalist, whatever. Maybe I do a bit more than my mom and sister do. And they was like, well, Z drinks this herb, and I was talking about cleansing, and I was talking about the root chakra. I kid you not. It was just like the last 24 hours. It's literally just like leading up. And then and again, I shuffled the deck 2-3 times, and the Six of Cups kept coming out. And so Spirit is like, we're not going to let you avoid. We're not going to let you avoid this anymore. And the same thing with the guy trying to get with her. And you can tell she's probably trying to change. Like, again, I don't understand Spanish, but you can tell she was low-key maybe trying to change the subject. And he's like, yo, what's good? Just like, and it was kind of like she was having a hard time kind of like avoiding, right? Like, avoiding this dude. And so like, yeah, so you get it. And so maybe this resonates for some folks out here. I'm pretty sure it does. It's Leo season. We just had Aquarius full moon, right? I'm an Aquarius. Actually, the video that I wanted to shoot a little 2-3 minute video about being an Aquarius, right? That actually just wanted to talk about myself for a second, and then you see this card's coming out, right? So if you're anything like me and you've been avoiding relationships, I think Spirit is encouraging you to, I think this is one of those, this next chapter might be the chapter where it's kind of like Spirit is encouraging you and maybe pushing you even to not avoid, right? One of the things I've been procrastinating on, and maybe even putting off, is doing a full cleanse. Like, I've done some fasting here and there, but I feel like Spirit wants me to do like more of a full cleanse right now. It's like clearing out these lower chakras. When I think of the color orange, I think of the sacral chakra, but also if I'm thinking of a sacral chakra, I might as well also be thinking of the root chakra. And it coincided the conversation I had yesterday about herbs and cleansing all of this. And I recently it's a little TMI, but I had a little, like, my time of the month a little bit. And so yeah, there's some cleansing happening. So Spirit, if you feel like Spirit is guiding you to cleanse, it likely is because there's something that they're trying to bring you. Maybe there's someone or a situation Spirit is trying to bring into your life. But we always say you got to make room for it. Not just in your heart, but in your mind and your body, right? In your life. Metaphorically speaking, it may be time to like put that motorcycle in the garage and pull out the car, right? Motorcycles, usually when I think of, I actually consider motorcycle to be one of my confirmations sometimes when I'm doing these readings and a motorcycle will go by. I think of it as moving fast. When you there's some things you just got to do by yourself, especially if you're trying to get it done quick. Fair enough. But just with so much we can do by ourselves, right? And if I'm to be real realistic, like, there is a lot that I've done on my own, and it would be nice at this point in time to have someone that has similar interests, have similar passions, have similar goals. It would be nice if we could actually come together for the greater good, right? I guess some of the situations that I've been in, I just feel like there's just been too much clout chasing. I feel like there's been too much emphasis on money. And not to say, again, I think I said it in the last reading, like, money is absolutely important. I never said that, but it's like, why are you here? It's like, why are you here first? And then let's talk about how we're going to, make money from what it is you really want to do. Sometimes we lose sight of why we're really here. We get caught up in money. And I feel like some society very much discourages us from believing in our ability to make money doing what we're passionate about and make money doing things that are creative and artistic. I feel like there's a lot of discouragement around that. And at this ripe age, I'm way older than I look. If you've been paying attention, I'm over 35. And there's a whole lot that I've done on my own. And one of the benefits, and that's a beautiful thing, right? It's not a complaint. Just so you know, I'm not complaining. So I understand the importance. I understand the importance. I understand the importance. It's always important to do as much as you can on your own. Doing as much as you can on your own makes it clearer where you could really need help. You know, sometimes we start off asking for help before we even started. And it's kind of like sometimes we just want the validation of people joining us. You know, oh, I got an idea, now I got to go now I got to go tell 10 people. And I expect the 10 people to get excited about the idea and start working with me on it from scratch. And it's like, life doesn't always work that way. It is not better that way, right? So sometimes we're operating from validation, and I call it the get on the boat syndrome, right? I'm building this boat, and I get excited about this boat that I'm building, and I start bragging and telling everybody about it before I even finish the boat. Partially because I'm hoping somebody help me build the boat, and the other part, maybe again, sometimes people just want the validation of like, hey, look at this boat I built, and they want to impress folks, and as soon as they finish building the boat, they want to throw a party, and here come all these people, because you know, folks ain't really around when you're building a boat. They kind of sit back and wait for you to finish building the boat so they can get on it, so they can be there for the grand opening. And they can say they've been cheering you on the whole time, and you know what I'm saying, like, and so there's definitely a benefit to doing as much as you can do on your own, because the more you do, the clearer it becomes where you can really use some assistance. It's like really knowing what your strengths are, really knowing where you're not so strong. Right? Because partnerships should be beneficial. I've left a lot of situations because I felt like folks were just wanting their friends to join them. Hey, they're my friend. They're in. And just doing too much. Just doing too much. You don't need 3 secretaries when you just started out. You know, things like that. Sometimes we feel bad for leaving people behind, although that's an illusion. There's no such thing as leaving somebody behind, right? That's your ego talking. Some people ain't meant to be on that boat. And on the flip side to that, putting this egotistical idea of like leaving someone behind, it's like now you have someone on your boat that could lead to you having someone on your boat that one don't need to be there. They get in your way. But you could also be taking them out of their way, right? Maybe Spirit has something different for them. Maybe Spirit had a different plan for them. Maybe Spirit wanted them to pivot at that point. Maybe Spirit wanted them to go left. But because you and your ego talking about, I don't want to leave my friends behind, you got them on the boat with you, taking them off their path, actually not helping at all. So I see that's me rambling, and also rambling and still avoiding the topic of relationships, right? Because this is actually a beautiful spread, right? When I get out of my denial, I don't really like that word, but when I stop avoiding this topic of relationship, when I stop avoiding the cards, this is actually a pretty nice spread to see this and this together. You know what this tells me? This tells me this is not only oh, so you know this is the Leo up there, so you might be meeting this person during Leo season. So this tells me that you may be meeting this person during Leo season. It may also be that you both have Leo in your chart. It may be that you have Leo in your chart or they have Leo in their chart. That's the thing, because I am an Aquarius with Leo in my chart, so that is a thing. That's one of the reasons why I really love Leo season, because for me that's also my half birthday, and it's also kind of like my rising birthday. If that makes sense. Because my sun is Aquarius, my rising is Leo, so that's always fun. But when I see this card, right, because to me this could literally be any casual dating, like depending on what the spread looks like. But when I see this, it just feels like this is not just some casual dating. This is reminds me of the Katy Perry song when she's like, you make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream, right? When you feel like a teenager again and you're getting the butterflies and you don't know what to wear and you're like, oh my god, this person is so cute, you know. when you start to feel like a kid again, like that's a different kind of love. That's a sweet kind of love. It could feel like that, but it could also be literally that. Maybe some of you had a friend in elementary school and you haven't seen since elementary school, and then you get a new job and you find that they work at that job and you're like, hey, what are you doing here? Hey, I remember you, and you hit it off. It could be literal, like someone from your childhood. I don't know why. Because they look like they look like two like cute little they're like two youngins, right? And 6 is a number of self-healing, right? So I feel like there's another emphasis on like healing the inner child, right? Healing the inner teenager. So that you're able to even feel those butterflies, right? You can meet your person and not register, because if you haven't been doing the healing, you might not even really recognize that the person is standing right in front of you is your person. So that is a thing. Leo's represented by the sun, so like there's something being illuminated about this connection. So you have this like teenage dream connection with someone, and I feel like there's something being illuminated about it. Maybe there's something healing about it. You had to heal to manifest it, but also the relationship in and of itself is likely healing. And then the 10 of Cups is the fulfillment card. Like I think I see some kids in the picture, right? This is like the family life, the dream of like, I don't know, buying a farm and getting some sheep and some goats. I would love some goats. I think baby goats are the cutest thing. They look cute on TV. I don't know, you know, it'd be different. You have baby goats hopping around your house. That might get a little annoying after a while, but you know, it's different. It's different kind of annoyance. I've always wanted to meet cows. Like it's been a second since I've like connected with more animals than cats and dogs. It's been a minute, but I appreciate, you know, although I live in inner city, I live a little bit outside of the busier part of the city, and so yeah, you will see like different exotic birds every now and again, and not that raccoons, and I think we've seen possum and raccoons around here. So it's somewhat woodsy. So it's that part is nice. So yeah, it looked like you got something interesting coming on in here. I see this 2 of Cups, juggling your coins, and this is definitely me. One of the reasons why I've been avoiding relationships is because my money's not right. Like, I've gotten a little bit better about like dropping the shame around that. A part of me doesn't want to call it shame, and maybe I'm a little bit in denial that might be a little bit shame. I might be in denial that is a little bit of shame. Because I don't necessarily have shame. I'm not embarrassed. Like, my life went the way it went. It's like folks don't know the details of my life, so I'm not necessarily embarrassed. It's just, it gets a little annoying sometimes when you're out there, you're meeting folks, and they think you're cute, and then they start treating you a certain way because you don't got a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you know, I don't want any more. I don't need any more invites to be the side dude. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, I'm gonna get with this rich guy over here, and I'm gonna have Z on the side. It's like, been there, done that. You know, if you don't want me because I don't got no money, then just so be it. It is what it is. This is what my life is right now. I made a decision about what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew it was going to be difficult, and I accepted everything that it might come with. Right? When I decided I wanted to work for myself. When I decided I want to do my own thing, and I don't have anyone here to show me how to do it, so I knew that it would take a little bit. There's a learning curve, right? Whenever you're learning something on your own and doing something new, there is a learning curve. So I knew, you know, I knew what I signed up for, and so that's part of the reason why I don't even like get too overly crazy about relationships and stuff, because I'm just like, nah. You know, maybe I'll hook up with somebody here and there, but I guess maybe a part of me don't want this pressure of like now I have this person. You know, it's like I feel like in hetero worlds, especially, two people can come together and unexpectedly have a baby, right? They can unexpectedly have this baby, and then it's like, now what do we do? We have this baby. Now I have to step up, and it can kind of encourage the folks to like step their game up and get their stuff together. And like, one of the things about, I guess, being in female bodied and like maybe dating a lot of other folks who are female bodied, I'm not, I'm pansexual, so I'm open to body types, but majority of the time I would say it's, I'm trying to say, like, I'm not usually in a situation where I could accidentally get someone pregnant. And so there's kind of a catch-22 to that. So it's like, it's kind of cool, it's nice that you won't have too many accidents, while at the same time you don't have any happy accidents, because most cases it was an accident, but it's a happy accident. We didn't plan to have this baby, but we had this baby, and I'm happy to have this baby, and this baby changed my life. So like, maybe that's also kind of like a downside to being queer person. We're more often than not, we are having to kind of plan for a baby, right? And also, sometimes you just meet somebody. You fall for someone who already has one or two, and that's okay too. And so sometimes you luck out and you're able to just come into a family that way. Right? So, I'm open to the possibilities. I'm at that age where, matter of fact, I've worked with kids for a really long time, so I'm not afraid of somebody having some kids. I'm definitely not afraid of somebody having some kids. And like I said, to me, it's more like instant family. And then for me, the concern more so has to do with like the baby daddy. Right? How's the baby daddy going to act around me? Are we going to get along? Can we be cool? That would be my concern. That would more so, or the other parent, because like, maybe I'm with somebody. Like I said, I'm pansexual, so that's my only concern when it comes to kids. I'm fine with kids. Me and kids are great. They'll have a math tutor. I can show them my DJ. Like, I know how to use a first aid kit. I'm good. I learned CPR back when I worked at the YMCA. You know what I'm saying? We're good. Maybe I need a refresher course and shit like that, but I ain't scared. The funny part is, I forgot. I was flipping through the other cards because we seen that Six of Cups. I put down the cards that I showed you because there was actually others. Oh, that's why I was like, this two. That's what I saw this. That's why I'm like, part of me. This is where I'm at, right? I'm kind of like trying to make $1 out of 15 cents right now, and therefore not really focus too much on relationships. And interestingly enough, the Aquarius card came out. Actually, this was the first card that came out when I started pulling this spread. I feel like when the Aquarius card comes out first, I feel like a lot of times that's my spirit guides telling me like to be yourself, telling me to be yourself. Like, be yourself. Be your amazing, fun Aquarius self. But also reminding me that Aquarians, the sign of Aquarius is actually a pretty balanced sign. Like, and if on paper, obviously everybody's different, but like technically on paper, Aquarius in and of itself is actually a pretty balanced sign, and that it incorporates all elements. Right? It's an air sign, the water bearer with feet. I always emphasize the real symbol of Aquarius should have feet. I know some people love to draw the merman, and I can't promise that I would never wear a t-shirt that has a merman on it. Mermans are great. But I feel like really the feet makes a difference because it represents the groundedness. And the fire is the passion, right? You see that light? Our polar opposite sign is Leo, the sun, right? And so technically there's this natural spotlight on Aquarius, right? If Leo is a sun shining directly across the chart, where does it land? Right on Aquarius. And so I also have a tendency I've been in the past avoiding the spotlight. I think I said this a little bit before in other readings. Part of the reason why I'm even doing this, so getting myself in the sun. I even literally just came outside today to just sit in the sun. You know, I had no specific plans. It's Monday. It's a chill day. The weather's not too hot, not too cold. It's actually pretty great. But I'm like, I need to go get my tan on. So there's that, right? So sometimes the Aquarius, be yourself. They're like, be yourself. We know you're juggling these coins and whatnot, and you know this love is coming anyway. We're just like, regardless of what your financial situation looks like, this you can still have this, right? You're really balanced. You're a lot more balanced than you maybe give yourself credit for, and it's like, you know, be the Aquarius that you are. And then we have this Hierophant, right? Hierophant. I feel like the Hierophant is, you know, it's interesting. Maybe I need to read back on. But when I think of the Hierophant, I actually think of a spiritual leader, right? I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here, like someone who's a spiritual teacher, a Hierophant. Yeah, I think that's what a Hierophant is, right? A literal spiritual teacher. And these are, you can imagine, like these are this person's pupils. The color red, as in like roots, rooted, grounded, being grounded in spirit, because you actually have to get grounded in spirit to really be a good Hierophant. And then we have these keys. I feel like this is the second time. I feel like there's been several references to keys I feel like there's been several references to keys the last couple of days, and Spirit wants to remind you, like, you have the keys. You have the keys to unlock. You have the keys to unlock all this abundance back here. You have the keys to unlock all this, and maybe part of it is stepping out, like I'm doing, and being in my Hierophant energy, which is what I've been doing. Because I've been going through it. I've been going through it the last couple of years, and I know it has a lot to do with me maybe not taking this purpose as seriously as I should have. Not that, you know what I mean? Like, maybe in my mind, I felt like I was taking it seriously, and maybe some part of me felt like I could take it seriously and avoid certain steps, or even like half-ass certain steps, and last couple of years have proven me wrong. And one thing I say about the last couple of years, especially, is that I've been scared straight. Like, I've been scared straight, and I'm like, okay. And if you notice, I've been working out a little bit. I'm like, I need to get back to doing everything that I do, and because I can't. I know I can unlock all this abundance. It's like I know that I can do it. And it's also a matter of stepping out. So I'm as an Aquarius, you know, the thing about Aquarians, like sometimes you think of like Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown's one of my favorite Aquarians. He's one of my favorite Aquarians. I always use him as an example of him and Rick James. Those would be like Leo-like Aquarians. Like Leo-like Aquarians, the ones that want to be in a spotlight. Because not all Aquarians need to be in a spotlight. Like, I don't have this need to be in a spotlight. I don't have this need to be out front. I don't have this need to be the one driving. However, I constantly find myself in experiences. I found myself in experiences that I didn't like where it ended up. It's like, you know what I mean? I didn't like where it went. I didn't like how it ended up. And it's like I'm on the bus, and because I have this Hierophant energy, I peep sometimes that maybe I'm on a bus where the bus driver doesn't seem to know what they're doing. I'm like, this bus is getting lost. This bus driver act like they know where they're going, and I'm like, I can't sit back here anymore and act like I don't know how to drive. I know how to drive. You know what I mean? And maybe that's also getting a little bit more into my Leo energy too, where it's like Aquarius and Leo we can take charge if we need to. So sometimes you gotta, walk up to that. In my case, I'm walking up to that bus driver and I'm like, move. Like, move. Because this bus, you're taking us all over the place. We're getting lost. The babies are crying in the back. Like, move. I know how to take us home. I actually literally have a decent sense of direction when it comes to taking myself home. To be honest with you, I don't know where it comes from, but I can find myself. I honestly believe I can find myself home from anywhere in the world. Like, wherever home is, I can find myself back. I've always been pretty good at that. And I'm seeing this Ten of Wands. One thing I'm noticing about Ten of Wands, first thing you want to notice is first thing you might notice is that this person is just holding 10 wands. He looks tired. You know how you're carrying, it's carrying something. It's like carrying this 10 of wands. He probably can't even see past the 10 of wands. He's just literally just carrying them and going one step at a time, right? You're carrying a lot of burdens. You really just need to move one step at a time. But if you look a little further down, you see there's home, right? So I feel like Spirit is encouraging you to keep going. We know these wands have been burdensome. But guess what? When you're almost home, and when you get home, you'll have all 10 of them. You actually carried those 10 wands. I believe I said this a couple readings ago, right? Sometimes we get caught up in how tired we are that we're carrying these 10 wands, and maybe you've been carrying them for so long, and you know, people that saw you and pointed and laughed like, ha 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 ha. They're not gonna make it, right? How many people did this person walk by that could have helped them out a little bit, even if they didn't help them all the way? They say, hey, I can carry a couple of those. How many people drove by, didn't offer them a ride? You know what I'm saying? How many people had a horse and carriage, didn't offer him a ride? How many people pointed and laughed? How many people not only drove by pointing and laughing, but got to town and then ran to tell their friends, like, look at this. You should have seen Z out there carrying all them wands. No, damn well it's too heavy. No, damn well they're not gonna make it. Notice he's wearing red, right? We're getting rooted. It's a person that's working on their stability. When I think of root chakra, I think about stability. They're working on their stability. They're working hard at carrying these 10 wands by themselves. And they're exhausted. You probably, like I said, you probably can hardly see past those 10 wands. And so Spirit is like, just keep going. Because, see, this home is right here. You're not too far. You're not very far at all. It might look far, but it ain't very far at all. Right? You're getting there. This might be connected to this, right? It might be connected to maybe having left one situation to go to another situation, or maybe it's a little bit of, because it's interesting. I didn't I didn't share it in the order that it came out, and so I think that's interesting. Two cards to show together. Like, this person is coming home with these burdens. They're coming home to these burdens, and this person is walking away from a situation. So maybe it's both. Like, it's time to walk away from one situation, and because they see, I kind of feel like it's the same person as they're both wearing red. Coming home in this case is more likely, but also, by all means, however it resonates for you, allow it to do that, right? Don't force my interpretation. But this could very much be about coming home to yourself, right? Coming home to being myself, kind of how I said, it's finally clicked for me. It's like, it's time for me to come back to doing all the things that I do. There's so many things that I'm able to do. I have 10 wands for sure. There's so many, you know, when you're a jack of many trades, it can get a bit cumbersome at first. But over time, it's like, you got this. You can manage those 10 wands better than you think you can. But also make space for potential connections, right? Just because you've been carrying it yourself this whole way doesn't mean there won't be someone there to greet you. But hey, babe, welcome home. I cooked. I don't know. Something like that, you know what I'm saying? And coming home to yourself and coming home to yourself in order to leave another situation. I'm trying to word this. I'm trying to word this better. It's like I know what I'm trying to say, and I think you know what I'm trying to say. Okay, I got like 3 minutes left, so perfect. So come home to yourself. Leave that situation. Coming home to yourself and leaving that situation. But these are cups, right? So it's like coming home to yourself in all the things that you do. Coming back to doing all the things that you do. And leaving all the regret, the resentment, the cups that you would leave behind. You know, regret, resentment, guilt, shame. Leave those cups behind. So the 8 is a number of expansion, right? We expand. Honestly, every time you release shame a little bit, I don't know about y'all, but I enjoy release. It's like I used to be I went from being a pack rat kind of personality to being someone who enjoys throwing things away. I think I threw some stuff away on the way out the house just now. I love going through my things and scaling it back and getting rid of stuff I'm not wearing anymore and not using anymore. But in this case, leaving behind the cups, the guilt, the shame, the regret, the resentment, any feelings you might have had of like revenge, any hatred and anger you have about this journey and those people that drove by, didn't give you a ride, that pointed and laughed. How many people stuck their foot out so that you would trip and fall? You had to regather those wands again and get up and keep going, right? So like I'm really excited for you. If you see any reluctance in me, that just has to do with me and my avoidance of relationships. It's like you need to stop. I guess Spirit's not gonna let us avoid it anymore. We're gonna make some new friends, some new loves, have some new fun times. And okay, we're running out of time. All right, y'all. It's been good, y'all. Believe in yourselves, right? What's on the bottom of the deck, right? Love yourself. Love yourself. Feel yourself. Feel yourself. Feel yourself. You're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We got this, y'all.